Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Chris Winter, and in this video I'm going to do an in-depth comparison between two cameras. Firstly, the Canon 7D Mark II, and also the brand new Canon 80D. Now, if you haven't done it yet, make sure to subscribe because I'm actually going to be giving away either a Canon 80D or a Sony a6300 to a subscriber. And also make sure to check out my new list, the top 5 best lenses to shoot sports with. I'll put a link in the description box below under this video so you can check it out later. But anyway, let's compare these two cameras. I'd just like to say a big thanks to Brisbane Camera Hire for letting me rent out the 7D Mark II for this comparison. But first, let's take a look at the build quality of these two cameras. So the first thing that you're going to notice is that the 7D is a big camera. It's quite a lot heavier than the 80D, but it also does fit nicely in your hand. And if you're going to be shooting with a big telephoto lens, having that extra weight can be a really good thing to get the balance back. Now the 80D for me is the sweet spot for a DSLR. It's not too heavy, but it's not too light either. But if you're going to be shooting in rainy or dusty conditions, you might want to look towards the 7D Mark II. Now it's fully weather sealed, whereas the 80D is just weather resistant. Now I've taken the 80D out in the rain and it totally stood up to it just fine, but if you are going to be shooting in very bad conditions, I'd definitely be looking towards the 7D Mark II. By the way guys, if you'd like me to do a comparison review between the Canon 80D and the T6S, let me know by leaving a thumbs up on this video. Now one of my favorite features on the Canon 80D is its fully articulating LCD screen. Now it's not a feature I thought I would use a lot, but I have been. Now on the 7D Mark II, we don't have one, and to me that's a little bit of a pity. Now if you want to compose your shots from down low, or if you're up high in a pack of photographers at a sporting event, having that LCD screen would be fantastic to really be able to see what you're going to be shooting. Now a lot of people say that it could break off, and that's one of the reasons why they haven't included it, but to be totally honest, I've been shooting with the 70D and the 80D with fully articulating screens, and I've never had a problem with it, and I think a lot of people would like to see it in the next version of this camera. Now another feature that I didn't think I would use a lot, but I have, is the touch screen on the back of the Canon 80D. So as you know, both of these cameras have great dual pixel autofocus systems, but I really feel like the 80D is harnessing that power by having a touch screen. Being able to select on the screen what you want in focus is fantastic, and you can get some really great focus pulls with it. Now on the 7D Mark II, we have a little trigger to move your focus point. It works, but it's just not the same. Hey guys, in the comment section below, let me know which one of these two cameras you choose and why. Now one thing that the 7D is definitely doing better is its card slots. Now it's got 2 card slots, one for SD cards and one for CF cards. And having the ability to back up what you're shooting on another card is huge, especially if you never want to miss a shot at say a wedding or of a bird or at a big sporting event. And to me that's definitely something I'd like to see on the next version of the Canon 80D. I'm not sure if it's something they're going to bring in, but I'd definitely like to see it. Now at the top of the camera right here, both of these cameras have top LCD screens, which is nice. Overall, there's not a whole lot different between the two. The 7D is slightly bigger, if anything. Now another one of the big new improvements on the Canon 80D is its viewfinder coverage. So the old 70D had 98% coverage and it's now been bumped up to 100%, just like the 7D Mark II. So you'll be seeing pretty much the same thing on both cameras, which is a really good thing. Now if you're going to be shooting fast moving sports, you'll definitely want to consider getting the Canon 7D Mark II. It's got an incredible 10 frames per second burst mode, and it's also got a higher buffer rate than the Canon 80D. So this is what 10 frames per second sounds like. And this is what 7 frames per second sounds like on the Canon 80D. Now 7 frames per second is actually not that bad, but if you are going to be shooting sports, wildlife, anything really fast moving, I'd be looking at the Canon 7D. Now one thing that I was disappointed that was missing from the Canon 7D and something that is included in the Canon 80D is Wi-Fi. Now having the ability to quickly transfer photos to your phone or your computer is key these days, especially in the world of instant social media, and it's something that I really like on the Canon 80D. But on the other hand, the 7D Mark II has GPS built in, which is something that the Canon 80D has. So it's essentially take your pick. So of course, both of these cameras have some incredible autofocus capabilities. The 7D Mark II has 65 autofocus points compared to 45 on the 80D. In general shooting, it's actually not that noticeable, but once you get out and shooting fast sports and wildlife, the 7D is really impressive. Now, if you are a professional and you're going to be shooting sports and wildlife, I'd probably go for the Canon 7D Mark II. But for pretty much everyone else, the Canon 80D's autofocus is going to be more than fast enough. Now, one area where you would think that a cheaper camera wouldn't come out on top is the sensor, but the Canon 80D actually does. It's got a new 24 megapixel sensor compared to the 20 megapixel sensor on the 7D Mark II. Now, I'm not normally big on megapixels, but if you do like to crop your photos, which a lot of sports and wildlife photographers do like to do, there's a definite reason to look towards the Canon 80D. So let's talk about video now, and to me the Canon 80D is the winner hands down. And that's for a few reasons. Firstly, its ergonomics are better for video. We've got a swiveling LCD screen, which is great for getting your best shot. And if you've ever been filming yourself, it's a lot better for that with that LCD screen. Now, like I said before, having the touchscreen on the Canon 80D is a lot better than what you can do on the 7D Mark II, because you can really select what you want to be in focus simply by touching the screen. Now, the 7D was one of the first Canon DSLRs to have a headphone jack, but now the 80D also has one, so they're even on that. Now, both of these cameras do finally shoot at 1080p at 60 frames per second, which seems like it's taken ages to get into the cameras. But one nice feature that I do like on the Canon 80D is its built-in time-lapse feature. Now, you don't have to take all your photos and then bring them back into post and stitch them together. It's all done in the camera, so it's a nice feature as well. So in terms of actual video quality, there's not a huge difference between the cameras, but it's all about the ergonomics and just how easy it is to shoot with these cameras. So overall, in terms of video, the Canon 80D is hands down much better. So now let's talk about price. Now, both of these cameras come in at the top of Canon's APS-C lineup, with the Canon 80D coming in at around about $1,200 and the Canon 7D Mark II these days coming in at about $1,500. Now, that's not a huge difference, but having that extra $300 is money you could put towards lenses or other gear. I think that they're both fantastic cameras and each one's going to have their own strengths. Now, if you're going to be in a professional environment where you need that fantastic build quality, that weather sealing, and that very high burst rate, I'd look towards the Canon 7D Mark II. And for pretty much everyone else, especially if you're going to be shooting any kind of video, I'd 100% go towards the Canon 80D. To me, it's a much more versatile camera, and I think for 90% of the people, this is going to be the right camera to get. So there you go, guys. That was my comparison between both of these cameras. They're both fantastic, and I think you'll like either one. Now, definitely make sure to check out my top 5 list of the best lenses for shooting sports. I'll put a link in the description box below under this video. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.